En la orilla del río,
Grassland and water create a vast living system where thousands of animals compete for food, territory, and safety.
Among these animals lives one of the most powerful predators in the Americas, the jaguar. But this female is hunting for more than herself. 3 young cubs depend entirely on her experience. For Tala, Nico, and Maya, following their mother is a daily lesson in how to read this dangerous landscape. Beyond the open valley, the ancient forest offers shade and cover, but concealment works for every predator. In dense forest, sight becomes less reliable. Scent, sound, and experience become essential.
A change in scent stops the mother. Something large has passed through here recently.
Hidden ahead is an exceptionally large green anaconda, an ambush predator built around patience. Cubs remain behind their mother, but she is moving directly toward the hidden predator. The strike is explosive. The jaguar answers with claws, powerful limbs, and rapid body rotation, tools evolved for a very different style of combat. Preventing another complete wrap may be critical. Each additional coil would reduce her ability to use her limb. Changes. 4 animals occupy only a tiny fragment of this enormous forest. A branch gives the snake leverage. One secure foothold gives the jaguar a way to resist it. The anchor wins this exchange. Her foothold disappears, and gravity adds to the snake's advantage.
With no ground beneath her, every free limb becomes a potential lever.
A sigil claw hold changes the forces acting on her body. The jaguar targets the most vulnerable part she can reach, the head and upper neck. Beyond this single tree, thousands of animals continue feeding, resting, and competing, unaware of the struggle unfolding above them.
For the first time, the jaguar brings her own most powerful weapon into the fight.
Neither animal can maintain maximum force indefinitely. Every attack creates another opportunity for the opponent. The jaguar now uses leverage rather than raw strength, forcing a small opening beneath the constricting coil.
Even a narrow opening can matter when the trapped animal still has a secure foothold.
The snake tightens again, but the coil has already shifted away from its strongest position. With 3 points of contact, the jaguar begins transferring her weight back onto the branch. The anaconda tries to recover its grip, but the jaguar blocks the coil from returning to her chest. Her climbing strength now becomes an escape mechanism.
One hind leg breaks free, giving the jaguar another point of leverage.
With both hind legs recovered, the balance of force changes rapidly. At last, the constricting loop loses its hold. Freedom does not end the danger. The snake can still strike at close range. Now the jaguar turns her powerful jaws against the exposed neck. The snake's anchor prevents the jaguar from maintaining her grip. Around them, the forest remains part of a much larger landscape, where countless animals continue their own struggle for survival. On a narrow branch, controlling height can be as important as strength. The jaguar's pull begins to shift the snake's anchor from its strongest position. Its own weight now begins working against the anaconda. The jaguar prevents the snake from recovering its former position. The snake abandons one anchor and secures another below. Distance begins replacing direct combat.
For most wildlife, survival depends less on constant combat than on knowing when to break contact.
Climbing agility now gives the jaguar a faster route away from the snake. Back on the ground, her first priority is no longer the snake. It is the cubs. The mother holds her position, but she does not pursue. With the ambush lost and the jaguar free, continuing the attack would demand more energy and greater risk. The confrontation ends without a victor in the human sense. Both animals have achieved the only result that ultimately matters: survival. The cubs immediately regroup around their mother, while she continues checking for danger. The family leaves the ambush site, moving toward higher and more open ground. From this ridge, the mother can see farther and detect movement long before anything reaches her cubs. She checks the area that carried the snake's bite, then tests her movement before continuing. A stable gait suggests that the struggle has not prevented her from moving normally. Before approaching water, the mother studies both banks for movement. Even while drinking, vigilance interrupts every few seconds. Once the cubs reach the water, the mother gives up drinking and takes the watch. Every open view reveals how many lives share this landscape and how many different strategies survival has produced. After an ambush, even a harmless sound can trigger an immediate defensive response. Family moves toward higher, drier terrain with better visibility. Back beneath the canopy, enormous trees provide shelter without hiding the scale of the forest around them. A raised resting point gives the mother a wider field of view. As exertion falls, her breathing gradually returns toward a resting rhythm. For a predator raising young, rest must still happen inside a landscape filled with information. For young jaguars, ordinary movement becomes training for balance, climbing, and coordination. These small exercises gradually build the physical skills they will later depend upon. Mistakes are part of learning, especially while the cubs remain under their mother's protection. As evening approaches, the family continues moving through a mosaic of forest and open country. The green anaconda is an ambush constrictor. Its success depends on concealment, a rapid bite, and the muscular control of its body.
Eyes and nostrils positioned high on the head allow an anaconda to remain low while monitoring its surroundings.
Much of its strength comes from long bands of muscle distributed through an exceptionally powerful body. Anacondas, jaguars, and their prey are all connected by the same rivers, forests, and seasonal grasslands. The jaguar is built differently: compact, explosive, armed with retractile claws and exceptionally powerful jaws.
Strong limbs and climbing ability allow jaguars.
Abilities became critical when the attack moved from the ground into the branches. For the cubs, survival knowledge begins by watching the decisions their mother makes. They remain dependent on her for protection, food, and an understanding of where danger can hide. The cubs are already learning one simple rule. When their mother stops, they stop. Before darkness arrives, she selects a sheltered position with several clear lines of sight. A brief inspection reduces the chance of another close-range surprise. The cubs settle close while their mother remains alert. Across the valley, daylight fades, changing which species move and which begin to rest. Even at rest, a jaguar's hearing continues sampling the forest around it.
Young predators learn not only from direct experience, but from the reactions of experienced adults.
As darkness spreads, the same landscape becomes a different sensory world.
Vigilance does not require constant fighting. Avoiding unnecessary conflict is itself a survival strategy.
The anaconda survives as well, conserving the energy it will need for another opportunity. For Tala, Nico, and Maya, the night can begin because their mother is still watching. In the wild, strength is more than the power to attack. It is the ability to endure, adapt, protect the next generation, and survive another day.